I'm Marlene Frisbee with Hoffy Nursery, and I'm here today to give you some advice on how to plant your perennial quality perennials. We put a lot of effort into growing a quality plant for you, and we want to make sure that you're successful with those plants in your garden. Some of these things may seem very obvious, but a lot of times people just don't think about this before they start to plant. First of all, before you take the plant out of the container, you want to make sure you dig your hole. You know what happens. You put the shovel into the ground, you hit a rock. You start to try and get the rock out of the ground, and all of a sudden you realize it's not a rock, it's a boulder. You put the shovel down, you go into the garage, the phone rings, 20 minutes later you come back. If you've already taken the plant out of the container, those roots, those nice healthy roots that have been growing in there, are sitting out there in the hot sun, getting damaged by all that direct sunlight. So dig your hole first, and make sure it's a big enough hole. You should be able to easily drop the container down into the hole, and it should fit easily into that hole. It doesn't have to be twice the size of the container, but just wide enough that the container fits in there. Second of all, you have to think about how you remove the plant from the pot. If, like this plant, there's a lot of extra roots on the bottom, it is okay to just pull these away. And then you want to cradle the top of the plant with one hand and tip the pot upside down and pull it off. Whatever you do, don't grab the plant and yank it up out of the pot. If you do that, you could be damaging the crown of the plant. And this is where all of your new growth is going to come from. So again, be very careful, tip the pot, take the pot off like that. If the pot, sometimes the pot will be stuck on there a little tight. If that's the case, have a pair of scissors handy and you can cut the pot off rather than damaging the plant by yanking on it from the top. And then the third thing is the level with the ground at which you plant the plant. When you get it in the ground, you want to be sure that the top of the ground is level with the top of the soil of the plant you're just putting in. Some people will plant it, not dig the hole deep enough and plant it too high. When that happens, soil can wash away, and once again you can leave the crown and the top roots of the plant exposed to the elements. The other thing people do sometimes is dig the hole a little too deep, and then the plant in effect becomes a sinkhole. And if we have heavy rains, or if you're watering your garden all around this area, water could accumulate in that little sinkhole around the new plant, and that can create rot, and again, not very good for the crown of the plant. So remember those three things. Dig your hole first, take the pot off carefully, and plant the plant at the same level as the surrounding soil. These things will help you get your plant off to a great start and have some gardening success with perennial quality plants. The last thing I'll remind you of is be sure once you get your plant planted, be sure to give it plenty of water. New perennials will need at least an inch of rain or other water per week until they get established, which will be about 6 to 8 weeks. So if we're not getting enough rainfall, be sure that you give it some supplemental water so that it can get established. Thanks, and enjoy your